All right, hello everybody. So we are with Dhruv, and Dhruv is going to teach us his AI agentic programming setup. He says that he hasn't written a line of code in many weeks or months. Is it weeks or months at this point?
Months,
Okay,
definitely.
months. So and his coding setup is probably the most like very safety, very quality focused. So I'm excited to see what we're going to learn today. All right. So over to
Yeah,
you, man.
like I think so for my coding setup is built for me, and for me, I see a lot of coding setups online, but the key thing that is important for me is simplicity, right? Your setup has to be simple. I don't want to remember a lot of things and different permutations and combinations of how things can be used. So I try to keep it as simple as possible. And then the other thing is that is more important to me is cognitive load. I don't want it to make my life difficult. I want it to reduce my cognitive load and not increase my cognitive load. So I think those two things are like paramount for me when it came to sort of working onto this setup. I've been working on this since more than a year now, and have been using it with different models over a period of time. But I think after Opus 4.5 was released last year in November, end of November, I think since then it is almost like a game changer, and I pretty much can ship things without writing even a single line of code. I do write lines of code sometimes, when I'm close to my rate limits, and I want to save those minor fixes. So I do it, but more often than not, it is like, few character changes, but for the most part, the AI does the work for me. Yeah, so I can walk you through how I use it. Uh,
Yeah,
but
and
before that,
just to mention, like Dhruv also has a Substack where he covers, uh, things like how he builds with AI and everything. So it's called breaking.build. uh, and yeah, so anybody who's interested, they can take a read at this. Okay, so
yeah. So Aman, what do you want to build?
so I want to build a social network, and it has many different functional like core blocks. Basically, there's an authentication identification layer, which has to be very strong. It's for scientists.
No, so
So
okay, let's not go
investigation
into
is
design.
simple, maybe.
Let's focus on product, then we'll go to technology.
Okay.
So how about we just okay? I think you have clarity about what you want to do. So let's
Yeah.
first go to let's go to the Codex app, and then we can take it from there. So my
All right.
setup, my GitHub repo for my configuration is for Claude Code. But what we did was, since someone has Codex, we just used Codex to convert that setup so that it works on Codex. So it's a slightly modified. I'm working on my setup to be a bit more portable than what it is right now. So yeah, once I make those changes, I'll push it over to that project. But for now, so the first thing that I do whenever I am working on something that is more like a product and not something that is very technical, I use the grill me skill.
Mm.
This is not my skill. I saw Matt Pocock uses it, so I just took it from his setup, and you can do dollar bill me, and now you can explain what you want to build as the starting point of this, and then we can continue from there.
Interesting. So, how descriptive? Look, I have a very good idea of what I want to build, and I could easily write a whole long document about what features and everything and all the nitty gritty aspects of it. What,
Let's just
where do you usually want to start here?
let's just do the elevator pitch, right? So, what is the
Okay.
elevator pitch of your idea?
Okay, we can
Because
also build this like a beta, like a very alpha version of the product as well. First maybe
yes, yes, we can.
that's a good exercise.
We
Okay.
can, and a lot of those design decisions and things like that will come out as part of this process, right? Because
Mm,
in your case, you have good enough clarity of what you
mm,
want to build, but a lot of people don't have that clarity, right? They just say,
mm.
"Ki, I want to build
Okay.
social media, or I want to build a to-do list app," right? And but the devil is always in the details of how things work, and
I
and,
see.
and
So
this
so for this
sort
purpose,
of
then
with
let's
that.
take a let's pick a different app which I have not that much idea about, but it's
Okay.
going to be something small and simple. Okay.
Okay.
So I always wanted to build an app that is basically for ADHD people, right? So I want to build an ADHD management web app. So, for example, or app, let's say, that let's say helps helps the user, for example, or the user, let's say, do a brain dump, connect, manage everything in their mind, front or back, and also reduces emotional overwhelm and paralysis when looking at the items. Is that? I guess that's a very
Yeah. Let's go. Let's.
okay. So what do I do next? So do you want to put plan mode or
No,
like what? It will do.
no, don't need to go to plan mode right now. We are not. So we go to plan mode when we are building. Now just move on.
And intelligence, you usually like at this stage. I mean, this is giving us an option.
Yes. So it gives us an option of how much reasoning to use. On the internet, on Twitter, I have seen people saying that X high is good, and some people are saying low is working very good for them. So I have tried X high; it works quite well. But let's go with low for now, and then if we need more
Okay.
intelligence, then we can
Let's see.
always get it.
Low intelligence model. Okay. Stress test the product shape and force the fuzzy parts into decisions. Okay, I see.
So what it does is that it breaks the entire problem into different approaches that you can take, and then asks you question based on that. Okay.
I see.
This,
And also, it
yeah.
also gives me recommendations, like which one, right?
Yes, it will also give you recommendation. So
Okay.
in this case,
yeah, I can. That's definitely one, for example. So I put in adult.
you can just say 1, 2, 3. So you can just do one.
I guess in that way,
comma.
they're not numbered. So
AI can figure it out.
okay, one. And then what is the primary loop? I guess that
If it is none of those, then you can provide you don't have to always choose from these options. If it is none of these, then you can elaborate and provide more clarity on that question.
So save the brain dump items in memory so that next time when similar items appear, you can basically replace it with the previously stored item. Okay, and a boundary. Maybe I'll just make it simpler. Until PhD. 3 is like boundary. What should we do? Okay, boundary. What should we even not try to solve? I guess one, don't solve full suite, just the emotional regulation and storage, maybe. But then I do want the calendars to be there.
Yes, but this is V1. Yes.
This is V1. Okay. 10-minute success. What should the feel like? Let's stuck all 3. I think the person should read all 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Send.
I've not used the Codex app, but can you maybe just for just prompt and say, can you use question tool or something like that? Because Claude has this very good question tool where you can just click and you don't have to type as much.
to make it interactive, so I don't have to click anything, type anything.
Yeah, just say use questioning tool or something. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Codex has it because it is there on the terminal.
Okay. Unavailable with this mode. Okay. Unavailable in this mode. Why is that not true?
Okay, but then it's saying you
Maybe
can
it's
do
like,
1A.
is it
No,
the intelligence of
no,
the
I
system?
don't think it is intelligence.
Okay, I see.
But it's fine. All right,
Okay,
cool.
the
We
question.
can.
So the question is here, but the answers are there. Okay.
It also asks the questions after that. So. Oh, okay, but this is very. This is a shorter
It's
version.
it's a very shorter version. Okay. Canonical unresolved. What exactly gets remembered between sessions? Canonical unresolved item. Okay. Duplicate phrasing emerge. Full time very raw dump. App learns recurring themes. Okay. One A and C, and then merge behavior. And any brain development also should have just merge user confirm. Okay. 2A. Scheduling, soft scheduling. 3A, right? Emotional regulation. What's it? Yeah, reframe the sync. Let's say 4. For that, I will asks to label the emotion, then reframe. And then also track the mood change with that item over time. Let's do that. Okay.
So what I use a lot, I use tools that can do speech to text, because working with these, sometimes you are typing so much, it just feels much easier to sort of, especially when I'm using this skill, it feels much easier to just talk. So I use a tool called as Voice Ink, INK, and so I just turn it on. The inference happens on my machine, on my device, and it works on all the apps. So
It's
it's
weird
really
that it
helpful.
doesn't give me that voice record option here.
Yeah, I've not used the desktop
Should
app,
be
so
there.
which is that's why I'm a bit surprised. But okay, we can continue this way.
Yeah, okay. So now the next branch, actual object model and interaction. Okay. Okay. Item type. One fixable mind item model. Task query. Tasks from capture. Separate types of. Okay. All start the same. Yeah. One A. Emotion capture, quick labels only. 2A. Was optional description. And 3. Intelligent concrete. This is interesting. 3. A and B. Okay. And maybe. And then fourth, visibility, front end, front mind, back mind. Okay. A. Fourth. A. Okay. AI behavior. AI role. Triage assistant. A. 2A. 3. Back mind. C. Okay. Let's do C. Am I asked still relevant? Still items 4A. Okay. Let's get through this. Okay. Daily review size. The review size. Overview. B to A. Okay. 3 B. Okay. And then 4 A. 1 D and 3 B. Okay. Review size. Oh, it's pushing me back on like a
Yeah.
few features.
Yes.
Okay, I see. So one I do want to like D, and then 2 I will do A. Fine.
It's convincing you now.
Yeah. Now, if they can be grouped, because I want full coverage, I don't want anything to slip through the cracks. How the apps prevents. So how long do you think this will go? The grill me, like it will, like, does it have an end on itself, or do I have to end it myself?
No, it has an end. When you
Okay.
sort of start converging in a
Okay.
direction where things have now started to make sense, that is when it stops. But these sessions can last. I've had sessions that have ran for even 90 minutes, 2 hours, and then I've had sessions that are like maybe 10-15 minutes.
1A, 2A. Recommended B. It's recommended B, but here it says recommended A.
Yeah,
I guess that's the low intelligence, showing up. Opening a group, recommended B. It's 3. What? It should be A. If you open a group, it should have all those. 4 A. Okay. Okay, it is showing all items inside an emotion. Okay. Brain dump input. 1A. Right. 2. Okay, immediately let's dump it to A. Okay. But hybrid. Okay. D. Okay. 3 raw dumping. A. Then 4. What is that? Next action. B. Fine. Okay, storage. Actually, now it's getting more technical. Storage, cloud storage. Let's look at cloud storage. I think I local first. Yeah, chalo A कर देते हैं यार. ठीक है. Select sensitive items. Mark items. All items private. ये क्या sensitive items क्या भाई? Maybe the all items same. Yeah, memory use here I can save items. Yeah, of course. Save B. 8, 3. Sorry, 1 A.
You can do A, B. I think it's fine.
3 A and B. 4 deletion. Archive by default hard delete available B. Privacy cannot be flat. नहीं no private handling. मेरे लिए ऐप है. To या चलो कर देते हैं यार. ठीक है. To private flag. To D. User trust. ये क्या है भाई? Okay. To अच्छा. 3 export readable to A. या to 3B कर देते हैं JSON में अपना archive 4A. The features पे ये अभी भी okay 4A. My cycles 3.
And I think we are already past like what 15-18 minutes now.
Yeah, it's like crazy. It's like A to B, C, C. So the grill, usually how long does it last, this grilling thing?
It depends on the problem, right? So it depends on how soon you can converge to a design. So now if you want to rush through it, you can just say like, let's just go through with your recommendations or something
Yeah,
like
A.
that.
Go with recommendation.
So you can say go with your recommendations. Let's stop the let's move on. Like you can just probably say enter
Is there a new skill
grilling
that we
session.
activate or like?
No, there is no skill, but you're just telling the agent that okay, I'm done with the grilling. Let's just go with your recommendation.
Okay, so it's locked. Okay, so should we take time to review this or just move on? Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, so usually at this point, I don't review it, but what I do is I say, okay, so I'll just say, okay, now can you document what we want to do in a design.md file, right? So you can also have maybe call it prd.md file. So yeah. So what you have at the end of this is a product design doc. And the product design doc actually is helpful because when the implementation is happening, at that point, the AI also knows what has to be done. And this is what the final product looks like.
Okay, so this is the design.md file now. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now next, what's next?
Cool. So at this point, I will commit the design so I know it will not change. So you can just commit this one. And then the next step after this is we move to technical planning.
एक second. तो stage on. ये क्या है?
I think click there and yeah, it is staged now, right? Yeah, you can just commit
Commit the
like
changes. Okay. Design for V1. Committed to
okay.
him. Three carry.
I think it is just showing you what
Okay.
are the things that have changed. It's
ठीक है.
fine.
Okay. Next. What's next?
So yeah, I think you'll have to move the video to like top left corner, I think. Because okay, yeah, I can see the prompt now. I can see the prompt. Cool.
Okay. Is it
So
better?
yeah, no, I think the previous layout was fine.
Okay.
Yes. So now what we need to do is, so now that we know what we want to build, the next thing that we want to do, that we should do is more around technical planning now, right?
Okay.
So how do we build it?
Hmm.
So at this point, I move to plan mode first. So you can enable plan mode.
Hmm.
And then you can use the technical planning skill. So you just start the technical planning skill. You just do dollar technical planning.
Okay.
Yes, and enter. So the technical planning skill is skill that I have built, and this pretty much has like the way how I work, right? So
Hmm.
uh, like all the things that I have learned building projects in engineering, and all of that. Now it is using the tool.
Now it is using the tool. So, okay.
Right now you see, now it is using the tool. Like this is the tool that I was asking for.
Okay. So
But
let's. I guess V1 web app is good.
yeah,
But account model, local demo first, right? Okay. I guess OpenAI API is good. But planning horizon. Okay. What's this for?
so
Or planning horizon.
one of the things that I do as part of my skill is that I tell the AI to not plan the entire project on day zero, because what happens is so I think of it as the pyramid of visibility. So you need to have the most visibility on things that you're going to work on right now, and then as for the milestones that are later on as part of your project, you don't need to have as much visibility. And with AI, you can pretty much plan like 25 milestones. But the challenge with that is that by milestone 3, you have probably changed some of the initial design decisions, or you've changed your design a bit, which can have downstream impact now, right? So if those milestones are already planned, then it becomes difficult on how they will change and what will happen to them. So that is why I don't plan it completely for the entire project. I say let's plan the first few milestones,
Hmm.
and once we reach there, then let's plan the next few milestones, right? So
Okay.
that is why it is probably asking you for that. So you can say that the week thing does not make sense, because this thing can be finished in hours pretty much.
So how do
So
you usually respond to this kind of a question?
uh, so you can usually, I just say MVP, right? So you can probably do the MVP. It can be the, so yeah, for me it is the first thing, MVP. And also the way, like, some again, like it is I'm planning I'm actually working on a blog post for this that explains and breaks down this particular skill in depth. But some of the things that I also use is progression over perfection. So it is more important that you progress and have something working rather than having perfect code.
So this
Yeah,
one is interesting. It's asking me what implementation stack should your plan assume.
yeah.
Uh, do you let AI pick the stack yourself, or how do you? Or let's. I get it's a bigger question, right? What kind of stack do you use now? Because or do you stick with languages that you know? Do you ask it to just play with whatever language it thinks it's best for the application, or uh, how do you decide? How do you decide between stacks at this point?
Uh, so for me right now, it's just I just have fun with stacks
Hmm.
because I'm not writing like before AI. You have to be a bit more choosy and opinionated, because you are eventually going to be working on that code base, right? So even when you are discussing it with your team members, you try to choose the tool that solves the business problem, but also something that is not super difficult to work with. After AI, now that AI can write code, uh, I think the equation has shifted a bit. So for me, the way how so for example, for front end projects, I don't really, honestly, it depends on the day. Like on some days I'm like, all right, let's do React. On other days I'll feel a bit more adventurous and I'll say use Vue or use Svelte kit, things like that. So it depends. But for backend related projects, so projects where I am collaborating with someone, working with someone, I'm not the only contributor, I'd probably use something like a TypeScript.
Mhm.
But if it is something that is not that does not require me to uh, that does not require me to maintain something, and it's not being used by others or other contributors won't work on it, I'll probably use something like Golang, because it's much faster, consumes fewer resources, things like that. But if it's a traditional web app, I'll also look for uh, community and prior art out there that I can directly use. So TypeScript and Python sort of are top contenders in that, right? Because now if you want to implement social login, you want to implement pagination and all of these things, you much rather it's better to have that ecosystem than building all of that stuff from scratch, right?
Mhm.
So those are the considerations that usually go. Next.js TypeScript, I think, is a good combination. So you can pretty much just start with that. And this is a web app. It depends how you want to store the backend. You can also do a backend as a service for this.
Okay.
But yeah, you can maybe just answer with Next.js TypeScript and then see what follow-up question
So
they have.
maybe so I'm thinking like I want to make it try Golang because I want to use Golang for the next big real project that I want to do.
Okay.
So how do you think of this recommendation?
Yeah,
How
you
do you
can
think of
go
this
ahead.
option?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. For the local demo, I guess like uh, local browser storage, that's probably not a good idea. Maybe SQL Lite is a good option, right?
Yeah, you can start with that.
Yeah. Okay. Who should validate? Mm, Public beta. Chalo, me only. Structured recommendation, but
Right. So it felt like as after the grilling session, the AI did not have much clarity on the
uh,
tech stack. So maybe then it is now just asking you tech stack specific questions.
what should the plan target? Uh, should be, I guess, it should be a shareable beta, right?
Yeah, you can do
Like
that.
MVP. Yeah. Okay. Server init pages started like only whatever this is, minimum verification. Okay. This is a technical thing here. So,
Right. So unit plus API test, I think, is good.
okay. Clear local demo disclaimer.
Yeah, it's fine.
Production grade privacy? No, probably not. I don't know what
No,
that
you
means.
can
It's
just put a
asking me
disclaimer.
because auth retention policy, no, all that stuff.
Yeah, because it is ADHD and then mental health, maybe yeah, privacy I think is a big concern. So if you are sharing it with others, it is important to sort of provide that disclaimer. So for now, you can just do disclaimer and then from there we can
Oh, I
get.
I clicked on production grade by mistake.
Okay,
Basically.
that's fine.
But that's it put it in a later milestone. Okay. When should the
Yeah,
plan sequence local demo? How should plan sequence the local demo versus local then beta, right?
yeah.
Email for the shareable data, but also the plan is you Google login like, or the email magic link probably is.
Magic link I think is fine.
Yeah. VPs hosting target single VPS decide later.
Yeah, you can decide later.
Okay. Production grade privacy for hidden whatever. Hmm. So then the skill will write a plan.
So this will have a plan, and the plan will follow a risk-based approach. So if there are parts that are risky where it does not have clarity, it will
Okay.
it will do some experiments first to get clarity. Based on that clarity, it will update the rest of the plan. But otherwise, this is how it will sequence, right? So now if you
So
see over here,
the milestones here are like these, right?
yes. And also the way how I like to work on projects is I like to work on them end to end, like have something working rather
Okay.
than sort of working. Like for example, if you're working on a technical project and you're building an app has multiple layers, right? Your
Yes.
presentation layer, your database layer, your business
Mhm.
logic layer. So a lot of people, what they do is they work on them layer by layer, which is horizontal layers that you call, right? So you'll work
Mhm.
on database first, then you'll work on your endpoints, and then you'll do the business logic.
Mhm.
But for me, working in horizontal fashion over years, I've realized is not the best approach because you don't get enough clarity on how everything will work together. Because building them in isolation is easier, but integration and integrating them sort of adds more complexity. So I try to get to that complexity as soon as possible. So which is why
Okay.
I focus on working on like vertical slices and not horizontal slices.
All right.
So this one pretty much is making it vertical slices, right? So
Yeah.
now if you look at the milestone, the first loop is
Yeah.
SPA, Go API, SQLite, local
Yeah. It
persistent,
builds the
alert.
whole thing basically. Yes.
Yes. So a very basic thing that you can start using almost immediately,
Mm.
right? Without the AI. Then the second
Yeah.
one is AI triage and regulation.
Yeah.
Then the third one
For
is
daily
improving the
review.
quality. Yes. And then
I
the
see.
fourth milestone is hardening,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
every milestone is building on top of each other. It
Mm.
is not, so every milestone is not additive, it is iterative, right? So
Mm.
it is not adding features, it is improving what is already there. So
Okay.
that is one of the philosophies also. And in this case, so before actually saying this, you can say no to the plan first. And so the reason why I want to say no is I also have a skill called as project setup skill. So the
Okay.
project setup skill sort of tells the AI how to set up this project,
Mm.
what sort of quality tools are expected, what kind of features to put in place, like how to set up a project well, and what
Mm.
tools to use. So you can just do dollar project setup, or you can just say use project setup skill.
Hmm. Maybe I should first say no, and
No,
then
you don't need to say no. You can just say use
I
when it,
tried the like
yeah,
that.
enter. Yeah.
Okay, identified it. Strict typing, linting, formatting. I see. For TypeScript, it's in PNPM, strict TS, tier. Okay, so it has language specific or like stack specific stuff.
Yes,
Yep.
so it has general philosophy of how
Mhm.
to, of what controls should be in place, and
Hmm.
then it has specific recommendations for TypeScript and Python,
Hmm.
because those are the ones that I use the most. But then,
Hmm.
for example, in this case, you've given it a Golang app. So what it will do is it will just use that philosophy to see how that maps on Golang.
Okay,
Yeah,
it
use
uses
PN,
it recommends PNPM, PNP,
PNPM. Yeah, GitHub Actions is fine.
actions, ASCII.
Yeah, Husky pre-lint stage is fine.
Okay. Okay. So now
And
it's the
now,
project setup plan as well.
yes. So at this point, what I do is now it depends on how big the technical plan is. I might opt for two options. I might
Okay.
either dump this plan in a technical plan.md file
Mm-hmm.
and then start a new session, give it
Uh-huh.
the plan, and ask
Uh-huh.
it to plan the next few steps. Or I can just say, implement the plan, and then it can pretty much go from here till the end in a single go.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
This has a lot more steps. This is a much bigger project. So in this
Mhm.
case, what I'll do is I'll just not implement the plan, but I'll
Okay.
say, yeah, save the plan to a technical plan.empty file. It will push back because it does not have. Uh, I think you'll have to turn off plan mode for this,
Mm.
but that you can do after.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think one of the important things is also how you sort of, because I look at this thing as memory, right?
Mm.
And when you're working
Yeah.
with AI, you have two kinds of memory. You have a short-term memory. Short-term memory is whatever is happening is in this session, right? And
Yeah.
then you have your long-term memory of things that you want to carry forward over multiple sessions. So the PRD document and the technical plan document are things that you will need across multiple sessions. So you just add it to a long-term memory. You save it as a markdown file, and then you can pretty much reuse it anytime, right?
Mhm. Okay. So it made this file, and
Yeah. Now I will start a new session on the same project. Then I'll go to plan mode. What happened? Is it not responding?
it's the weird thing is like it's so it opened VS Code on my desktop, and then it put the file apparently in a different repo. I'm
Okay.
not sure if that's true or not, but so I'm trying to don't save. Uh,
No, this is my repo.
yeah, this. So I think like I need to open new window and open.
No, so can you go back? Yeah, that is where it has. No, the new project 2 is where this app is. Yeah.
Okay, this is the one. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so that's totally fine. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So
Okay, let's go back.
you can just commit that file. Have you committed that file?
Okay, I've done this. Okay.
Yeah, stage the file first. Yeah. All right, cool. Now you can start a new session.
A new session. Okay, new chat.
Yes.
Okay.
And then go to plan mode and just give it the technical plan. So you can just do at. So
Yeah.
you can do at, yeah, technical plan. And then you don't even have to say read. You just do technical plan. What next? Like I usually just say what next.
Okay. Suppose going to use the plan file. Next one is milestone one. Okay. For the next step, which setup unit should the foundation only, right? Full
Yeah.
prod slice. Now,
No, just do foundation only. It's fine. So
okay,
now it is
atomic
up to you.
commits.
Yeah.
Let's see. Atomic commits, standard checks, or deep review. Okay.
You can just do standard checks right now, right? Does
Okay.
not require. And this is where it is coming from. It is coming from the initial plan mode settings that I have as part of the global agents empty file, right? So
Mm,
in this case, what it will do is it will not start with any product features. It will only set up the app for you.
I see. So it made this plan. Next step, repository foundation. Does it
In
also
fact,
have to be stored somewhere?
no, this does not have to be stored. But in fact, actually, you know what? You can tell it to just plan your entire milestone one. You can say milestone one. I think that is okay to do. Because this is very small. This will be done in like 5-10 minutes.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
I think the other local.
Stub first or
Yeah, you
development.
can stop. Instead of adding OpenAI right now, you can
How
stop.
often should review happen? End of milestone or per atomic commit?
So for me, it depends. But let's say just for demonstration purposes, because I don't think we should have this live stream for the entire milestone. So we
Yeah.
can do per atomic commit. So we can also see how
Okay.
the review process goes on.
Okay. So
And the
when do you
review,
decide what should be stored and what should not be stored in terms of these plans? Which ones do you want to store into a MD file? Key a milestone. This was the milestone one, and this is what was covered, so that the app can check against that. When do you
yeah.
decide what
So
store?
for me, the way how I decided is anything that will be useful across multiple sessions should be stored as a markdown file. And anything that is only relevant for that session should just be as part of that session.
I see. So when you say session, what's the boundary of a session?
Session is this one chat, right? So
Okay, I see.
how much work do I need to get done as part of this chat? Now you can see this session is broken down into like 1, 2, 3, 4. How many commits? 5, 6,
7
7,
commits.
right? So there are 7 commits that are part of this session. So which I think is a decent session. Now, like
Okay.
this is like with the workflow, you can pretty much start this session and the AI will continue to work for these 7 commits, and you don't even have to be at your desktop for these 7 commits. You can
Okay.
come back, you can see that, okay, the milestone is done. Once the milestone is done, you can dog food it, and you can also, like, yeah, you can dog food it, and then once done, you can go back, say what next, or
Hmm.
start milestone 2. If you want to be specific, you can say start milestone 2. If you don't want to be specific, you can just say uh, what next, and then it can figure it out from the PRD and milestones on what is done, what is not done.
Okay. So right now I'll say I want to. I feel like maybe it's helpful to store it. Would you
Okay.
store it at this point or would you not?
I would not store it.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll just start implementing this plan.
Yeah, sorry, just
Or
one
no.
minute. One thing, so you can make the review. So because we had chosen the review thing to be standard review, but now you can say, like, on review, iterate until approved. Yeah.
And then start implementation or like what? Or
No,
first you.
first, you'll have to tell it first. It will update the plan, and then it will ask again, and then you say yes.
Okay.
So towards the end, it would have that workflow documented.
Yeah. Repeat until approved. I think that's for everyone. For every single one, it's saying the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Now you can say implement the plan. Done.
Okay.
And this is where you go to Twitter.
Okay. I see. So maybe it will be helpful to give people an overview of like the let's say different skills that we set up, right? Like just a quick table of contents of what kind of things we added. Uh, okay, so it's making the code right now. Uh, so like I guess this is what installed or
Yeah. So all of these skills
these are
are
skills that you
there.
created, right? Most of these, I guess.
Not no. Some of
Essentials,
these, a bunch
the
of these are
essentials.
stolen. A bunch of these are stolen. A bunch of these are created by me. So not everything is by me, by myself. But what I try to do is I don't.
I mean, these are not in the Codex by default. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, whatever you see with essentials is not Codex by default.
Okay.
Right, and also I don't use all of these skills. Also, like some of these skills I used to use, I've stopped using them because the AI has gotten better and my workflow has gotten simpler and things like that. But let me walk you through like my process, right? So if it is a very simple task, let's say I want to fix a bug, right? I will not do all of this stuff. I'll only do plan mode. I'll do plan mode. This is what I want to do it, right? The AI will try to see what is there on the code base. It will come up with a plan. I'll say go implement, done, right? And it will do all the commits and all of those things as part of the plan. So that's the simplest thing, right? So now when you are through your 5 milestones and the next time you want to build, you will not do this entire grill me. You'll only do grill me when you have to do like a major feature, right?
Okay.
So that is plan me. That is the plan mode. So plan mode almost always, because I want to know what the AI will do. I want to be aligned before it starts doing its thing, right? Once we are on the same page, you do your thing and I'll do my thing. So that's the simplest thing. The second is when I know how I want to do something technically, but I just need to break it down into smaller steps, right? So then I'll do technical planning and plan mode, right? Because I know what has to be done, I know what has to be built. There is enough clarity. Let's break it down into milestones, and then let's do it. So then technical planning, plan mode. Now, when I don't know what I want, I don't know what I want to build, then I'll add grill me to it, right? So first I'll do grill me, then I'll do technical planning, then I'll do plan mode, and then from plan mode commits. So that is, so again, depending on how much clarity you have, how much control you want to have, and what you want to build, you can pretty much choose the tools that you want to use. And which is why I find it very simple enough for me to follow this, because plan mode is pretty much a feature that Codex provides, Cloud Code provides. Like all the tools now provide you plan mode, right? So you don't even have to do anything. The instructions of how to use plan mode are part of my global configuration. So I don't have to reconfigure them. Like, the agent knows what the expectations are. And then from there, technical planning is something that I built. Grill me is something that I got from Matt Pocock. Before that, I had a brainstorming skill, which was very similar to Grill Me. I think both of them work very similar to each other. So I have been trying those skills on and off, but eventually I've landed on using Grill Me more than the brainstorming skill.
Yeah, it's
But
also shorter.
it's also much, much
Like Grill
shorter.
Me is,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like just a couple paragraphs versus
And that is why,
brainstorming was like so long.
exactly. And that is why I like Grill Me a bit more, because it is not very prescriptive. Brainstorming also, I don't think is very prescriptive. It is decent. But yeah, that's so that's the overview of their skills for the normal development process, feature development process. The reason why I pull skills into the repo and I don't like to install skills from different sources is mainly from security perspective. I don't want to pull skills that I have not seen by myself, because nowadays there are a lot of supply chain attacks and skills getting poisoned. So yesterday also I noticed that I saw somewhere that on Claw Hub, where you can pull skills for your open claw, there were a bunch of skills that were found to have consisting malware software on them, and that is why I sort of don't want to do it. I prefer having the skills as part of my skill repository and maintaining it by myself rather than using it from Claw Hub or some other source. But yeah, simplicity, low cognitive load, right? So which is why now if you see it is broken down into commits, I have an option to review every single commit, right? If I want to, like because the workflow gives you a choice also, like, when do you want to stop? So I can stop at every commit, review the commit and give a go ahead, or I can say, do the entire milestone. And then I'll use it as a user. I'll use it as a product manager. and if any changes are required, I'll tell you, and then you make those changes, right?
Okay. So right now it's coding, it's making
Yeah,
files, but it hasn't committed anything, correct?
I don't know.
As soon as it
It
needs
it
to make
won't.
one commit, it's going to ask us, right? From what I
Uh,
understand.
I don't think it has committed. It is still installing npm.
Yeah.
Something that I should probably improve in my project setup skill is ask it to use the latest version of every tool that is out there, or the
Hmm.
latest stable or LTS version. Because right now I see it is installing npm PNPM 9, but the latest PNPM is PNPM 11. So
Hmm.
those are a few things that you might see. At this point, I can also interrupt and say, like I'll just at this point I'd add a prompt and say use latest version of all the tools, use the latest stable versions of all the tools. So you can add it
Here.
as steward, yes. So in this case, it will send that to the agent right now. So you are steering the conversation right now instead of waiting for the agent to do its thing and then
Yeah.
moving on.
I see. Let's go back to the skills. So which ones are these you're not using anymore? So you're not using
So I'm
agents.
not using the breakdown and do task anymore.
Okay, let's see what is create a high feature miles. Create an agile task breakdown from a design document or feature description.
Yes. So breakdown is an ancestor of the technical planning skill.
I see.
And I was using breakdown before no, I think I was still using Claude Code at that point. Uh, but the difference, so what happened, the way how Claude Code used to work last year was that actually Claude Code this year, when you enter plan mode, it writes the plan to a separate document. Like Claude Code by itself writes it to a document. You don't see that document. That document is not in the repo, but Claude uses it for the entire session.
Okay.
Okay, so that helps because now that you have this single document that is always used by Claude at whenever it is working, you don't have to tell it things again and again.
Hmm.
But before that, Claude did not have that document, and
Hmm.
that plan was part of the context. So,
Hmm.
so what would happen was after a while, it would start forgetting the plan.
Yep. Yep.
So that is why I had this do and breakdown skill. So what the breakdown skill would do is once I have the technical plan, I have the milestone and everything, it would break it down into separate markdown files. So it will create like task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, task 5, task 6. So it will create all the tasks
Yep.
as breakdown, and then every task will have what has to be done, what is the validation criteria, all of those things that we have as the current plan thing. And then the do skill would start doing it. So the do skill would look at the breakdown, look and try to find the task that is the first task that is either incomplete or in review or whatever is happening, and then pull that task and then start working on it. Right. So you can see update the task status to in progress,
Yep.
implement the task using the goal and all of those things. So this
Hmm.
is no longer like these two skills are no longer required because the current agents and the current agent harnesses have this feature built into them.
Okay. What's this Grillman in this interviewing, right?
Yeah, so they are all very similar, same family. Uh,
Okay.
Same family. So brainstorming, interviewing, grill me, same family. Uh, and I was sort of playing with all of those, but yeah, now I've landed on GrillMe. Matt Pocock has on his repo, he has Grill Me with Docs as a new skill that he says is a bit more powerful than Grill Me. I've not used that one. I need to check it. But yeah, the reason I use Grill Me right now is mainly because of its simplicity.
Mm, okay. So there's also a bunch of, like, for example, there's Plan Atomic, there's Project Setup, uh, and then there's
Yes,
technical planning, right?
yes. So technical
Uh,
planning is what we just used right now, right?
mhm,
Plan Atomic was again, this was also one of the ancient skills that I was using to make that. But now the Plan Atomic has also gone into the instructions in the Claude empty file, agents.empty file, right? With that the plan mode section that we have. So that one plan mode section pretty much replaces having all of these skills
mm,
completely.
okay. Yep.
So also let me explain why these are skills and why not some of these things are part of the global Claude empty.
Mm,
Uh, so what happens with agents is they have this problem of context rot. Like as your context size increases, they start losing memory and they get worse at following instructions.
mm,
Also, there have been multiple researches done, but an agent pretty much can only remember, I think, 10 to 15 instructions. Anything more than that, the reliability sort of drops, right? Like if you basically if you have to go to a party but you are not able to go, and you
mm,
send someone else and you give them a piece of paper to say like, hey, these are all the things that you need to do when you are at the party. You give them two instructions, the probability that they'll be able to do those two instructions, and assuming a dependable person that you can trust, if you give them two instructions, there is a very high likelihood that they'll follow both of those instructions. But if you give them like 100 pager or 100 point instructions, it sort of gets diffused, right? Not all
yeah.
100 of them, because as humans we can't follow all 100 of them and then find the inconsistencies in those.
Mm,
Maybe if you're a very good lawyer you probably can, but normal humans, you cannot like take all
yeah.
of those 100 rules and then act consistently with those rules.
Yeah.
So same thing with agents also, right? So that's why, so Plan Atomic was a way to, so what the agent guys, so what agent harness developers started doing was they realized that not all instructions need to be delivered upfront. Some instructions are context specific. Like when I'm fixing
Yeah.
quality issues, I don't, it would be good to get that instruction at that point instead
Mhm,
of having it in the global file, right?
mm,
So they started doing this thing called as slash commands. So slash commands was like, people look at it as safe prompts, but it's a bit more than safe prompts, right? Because safe prompts, yes, it is safe prompt, but it also is a prompt that you can execute at any point. And because you are providing that instruction now instead of earlier as part of your global cloud file, it is much more likely to be followed. And so that is what, so Plan Atomic for me was that. So I started Plan Atomic so that when I am in plan mode, it adds those atomic instructions. Because for me it was like, okay, if I add it to my global file, I am not sure if it will be followed or not.
mm.
So in plan mode I would do Plan Atomic, so I know that these instructions will be followed. But the success rate of following it on the global plan mode is actually quite nice. So yeah, that skill is also not being used.
So technical planning and planetomic don't are not substitutes of each other.
No, they are not substitutes of each other.
I see. So
So
the plan mode by itself takes care of this planetomic, aspect of, like, making everything atomic, or
yes,
specifying
yes.
what each commit
So
will
so
have
if
and
you,
stuff like that.
yeah, so if you see this specific part is what is there in my global Claude empty file,
Mm, I see.
right? So this part actually has been moved to my global Claude MD file, and so this skill also is not required anymore.
I guess there should be an agent. This should be rewritten into. Wait, there's no. I guess agent.md is in a different repo, right?
Yes, that is set up on a global, so it's somewhere in your home directory. I think
Yes.
it would be home directory.codex agent md file. But let's look at the agent. How far is it? How far it has
Okay,
gone
looks
so
like
far?
it has done something.
Okay, can you scroll up?
I did not create commits because the plan says to commit only after review approval. Changes are currently uncommitted. 37 files have been made. Here, all of these.
Yeah, so now you can say, so usually at this point, let's say if I don't want to review, so I'll say you can proceed to commit, proceed to commit for all future commits, and use the reviewer subagents and iterate until approved. So usually I just say that. And no, agents, they are reviewer agents.
To it to what iterate until approved.
Yeah. No, reviewer agents to review, and then the main implementation agent is, and then yeah, iterate until approved.
Like that.
Yeah.
This is the main. Okay, so it will iterate before it commits, basically. We're
Yes.
spawning two agents. Okay, spawn two agents.
Yes.
Reviewed. I started two review reviews, one for senior engineering review and one for test review. Okay.
Yeah. So now the agents are spawned, and then now the agents is reviewing, and then once the review is done, the agents say ship it. If there are any issues, the agent will catch those issues. If it's not, then it will move on and commit, and then the cycle just continues from there. I see it has also created like a database migration.
Wait, it says these are now two Mendel and Franklin. Are these your agents, the one sub agents, or what?
Yeah, like what Codex does is names its agents on scientists, famous scientists. So
Okay.
it automatically does that. So you can see what the agent is doing now. So Mendel is the senior engineer reviewer, and then I think
Engineer, yes. And then, okay.
yeah, and Franklin is probably the test reviewer.
Okay. Both reviewers rejected with concrete fixes. And it won't show you what they like, what they're discussing, what they're changing is not very relevant to us as the human developer. Like we don't have to read that stuff. We can just
You can
trust that
read
it's
that
happening.
stuff, right? So
No, I
I
mean we
don't know.
don't need to. You mean you
Yeah,
usually
you
do?
don't have to. You don't have to. So for me, like what is more important is that it has gone over, because nowadays like the models are quite good, right? Even like if you look at Sonnet 4.6, it's a very good model. Uh, and even GPT 5.5 is very good model, and GPT 5.5 actually is very good at reviews and catching issues. So you can pretty much test those models and say that it is at a decent quality if it has gone through multiple layers of reviews by these models, and then it has gotten committed after that, right? I've seen people employ multiple strategies. Some people say 3 commits, like maximum 3 reviews, and after 3 reviews you commit. Some people, like me, for me it is iterate until approved. So a lot of times I also see a single commit takes around 30 to 45 minutes, right? Like 30 to 45 minutes is a long time in agent time, right? uh, but it takes 30 to 45 minutes because it goes through 4 5 rounds of separate reviews. Yeah, and that way at least I'm confident that before it reaches me, the overall quality is much better. There are no bad tests, there are no uh, silly issues in code. Even though like I don't review, like for personal projects I don't review this code as much, so I don't really look at it. But yeah, since the agents have reviewed, since there is decent test coverage, since there is strong type checking, since all the lint rules are passing, you can say, like if a human developer would have written this, like an average human reviewer, the quality definitely is a bit higher than that. So you can see, right? I found a real
Yeah.
integration bug
Yeah.
while looking at the test. So you're fixing that now. So now see, it has
Yep.
done, and it has messaged both the agents again.
Yep.
So now if you go to Mendel and Franklin, they have started their work again. And yeah, you can read the feedback also over here, right? So if you scroll up, or you can scroll up before, yeah. So you can see what is missing. Uh, you can see the verdict is needs work.
Yep. Missing this one, that. Okay. So it's thinking right now, and then it will send back a response like this one.
Yeah.
Okay, already approved. So Mendel Franklin is approved. What about Mendel? Okay, Mendel is also approved.
Yeah. So now we
See,
commit
then
and move on.
okay. Both review and checking status, taking a new milestone, and committing the reviewed implementation. There is also a rule for how the commit should be written, right?
No, I don't have a rule, but usually I've seen that these models, they use the semantic commit style. So they'll have like feat or setup, something like that, and then the rest of the commit,
Uh-huh.
and then it will
Okay.
move on.
So now what we run the app, or like you see what we have here?
Yeah, you can try to run the app. So but I think the entire milestone is not done. Only one commit is done. Or is it the entire milestone? I don't.
I guess the entire milestone
It's done as a single
one has
commit.
been.
Oh wow. Okay, so it has given you the instructions also. So let's follow the instructions.
Okay. So should I use it in the Codex terminal itself? I guess that's
Yeah, you can use here. It's fine. So
okay.
you can go to
Backend,
the backend one.
and then go.
Yeah, and then start another terminal.
Yeah, terminal. And then CD Okay. Hmm. Interesting. So the text box doesn't work.
Okay, can you refresh again and see?
Nope, doesn't work.
Okay, so in the console, do you see any error or something like that? Can you check?
Cannot read properties of null.
Okay, so yeah, just give this to the agent, right? So the agent can fix it.
Like this.
And then also tell that, the like I can't type in the
Um,
okay. Fixing already. Cool. I think it figured out that was the issue. Now you can, I think, go back. It has updated the test also.
okay, it's also
Reviewing.
reviewing it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's auto
You can,
reviewing.
yeah, go back. Can you go to Golang and see like? Okay,
Oh, now
yeah.
it works apparently. But it's still thinking though.
No, it's not thinking. It is just waiting for those guys to respond. It
Okay.
is just using the background agents. But yeah, you can move on. Okay.
Okay. So recharged. Huh. So review suggestions today called anticipated making these tasks basically and making it someday. Okay, this should be a drop down menu rather than being a. All of these should be drop down menus, I think.
Yes. So all of that feedback you can provide it, right? Again, this is just the first milestone. So again, it depends on you how much work you want to get done in
But
these
it's creating
milestones.
2 new agents now, it says.
It's fine. Like I don't know how Codex behavior is, but for Cloud Code, it always creates new agents. It does not reuse agents, which I think is fine. It's okay. Yeah, so you can provide that feedback. You can give
Uh,
feedback about design as well, and all of those things, and then you can iterate. Once you are happy with milestone 1, then you say do milestone. You create a new session, milestone 2, move on. And you can also send screenshot.
yes. So so now your whole approach, your whole workflow will be based on sending screenshots and then asking it to change different things.
Yeah.
I see.
Until you are happy. And then once you are done with milestone 1, then you say, okay, milestone 2. So you can see the design
And
changed.
when do you change the, let's say the, the UI or CSS and stuff? When do you work on that?
that for me is polish, right? So polish only once your
Once
foundation
the
and
entire app is all the milestones are working basically.
yeah, like you
Oh,
you
okay.
you, you you choose that, right? You pick and choose. You like when it's always about getting, for me it is getting to the most important parts as quickly as possible, right? And for that also I am very aggressive with differing things. So as part of differing, polish is also something that is deferred. So there is this saying by Kent Beck, which is make it work, make it better, make it faster, strictly in that order, right? So my focus is always make it work. Once it is make it work, once it is working fine, then better and then faster.
Okay.
So yeah, drop
So
your
make it
message.
faster. When you say make it faster, I mean, doesn't that usually require the code to be re-architected, restructured, and stuff like that? Like, just like it actually involves technically changing the blueprint of the application, right, to make it faster. Why
Yes,
is that not first
it,
before make it better?
because premature optimization is the root of all evil, right?
Okay.
At the start, you don't even know what you want. Right now, you're looking at a screen, and because the screen is responding to what you want,
Uh-huh.
you are able to say, okay, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. What happens with a lot of SaaS products, what happens with a lot of things that you build is that on day zero, you have the least clarity of what you want. And only when you are building it, only when the users are using it, only when it is creating and generating value, that you actually have the clarity about, yes, now I know how it should work, right? And that is why that make it work is so important. Because make it work for me is more like your product market fit, right? And once you have gotten your product market fit, then from there you get to how do you build and add more value on top of it, right? How do you reduce friction? How do you make things simpler? How do you cut? How do you make it snappy, right? So then it becomes that, and then comes the performance, and then comes the fast and optimization. So then you are, like if you are GitHub, you have solved the developer problem. Now with the developer problem that is solved, now you want to scale so that you can scale to millions of users, right? That is where make it faster comes into the picture. A lot of companies don't even reach that stage, right? And if you're always in make it faster, then you'll never reach that stage.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh, it's still editing the application. Okay. Test review is failed, but senior review approved.
You can send this, that prompt will be queued. Yeah. And you can also edit it later if you want to before it is sent. Like, basically if the agent is done, it will use your prompt. If it is not done, you can edit the prompt.
I see. Yeah, the bug is that selecting this does not change the thing directly. It just rearranges the select options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's working.
That's good.
I think the issue is with, okay, that's,
It's still not here on this one. It's still fixing the senior reviewer stuff. Oh, and it keeps spinning up new agents all the time.
yeah, it is fine. It is perfectly normal. I think that behavior depends I prefer having new agents rather than old agents
Uh-huh.
because they are looking at it from fresh perspective and they might catch issues that have not been caught sooner. It is a bit more expensive, right? Doing this, spawning new sub-agents, but it overall helps with your quality. So you're not as worried, you're not as bothered. So what you can do is you can maybe do the steering now, right? You can say like, and this is where you can also control the workflow. You can say,
Yeah.
don't review until, let's fix the bugs first and then we'll review together. Don't commit until we fix the issues, like,
Mm.
or just focus on fixing issues, then we'll get back to committing. So you can steer the agent accordingly. Think of it as like you're working with an engineer, who is right now typing on your Codex app. Like how you would work with that engineer is how you can work with it.
But yeah, I like this approach. I think. Um, if you look at the
So this workflow for me has been quite stable since almost January, I would say. January this year. I've not had to change it a
Mm.
lot, by a lot.
Mm.
So yeah, it's finally converged to this place where I am right now.
I'm seeing there's not many comments actually. So it's supposed to add comments like the
Actually, I
famous
think
developer you mentioned.
you should review the backend code. Look at the backend code and see. Uh, Probably go to internal,
Mhm.
scroll down. Yeah, go to item. Can you scroll down? Yeah, actually has not dropped any comments. So yeah, did not follow that particular instruction well
Yeah.
enough.
Maybe there should be a documentation checker as well, agent that also checks if you have committed the code properly or not.
Yeah, see the thing is, the more agents you add, the more costs it add to your
Yeah,
process.
maybe the senior engineer should do that.
Yes, and again, as I said, like it is a trade-off. So you can give a lot of responsibility to senior agent, but then again, it becomes that problem. There is one agent which has too many instructions, so then it will not follow it as well, right? So that is the balance you need to strike, because there are always going to be things like security, architecture, test. Like the list always will be much longer, right? So
Mm.
you have to sort of figure out and find what that sweet spot is,
Mm.
right? So for me, that sweet spot right now with senior engineer and test engineers is well enough. If it does not do anything as said or stuff like that, then I just in that session say that, hey, so in this case, I'll say add anti-res style comments, right? And then it will it will do that. And then the next time it scans code, it will see that the comments are there, and then it will follow that practice automatically.
Mm. Okay.
And again, like you can feel free to like tweak the setup based on your own needs. For me, this I found to be like sweet spot for me. But yeah, it's up to you how you want to sort of mold this based on your. For me,
When you do that is by going to these scales and then changing the prompt here.
changing the prompt over here, adding new things to the skill.
Like here, for example.
Yeah,
This is what it uses, right?
yeah. You can just go to the repo, tell Codex to do the changes for you, right? And it can do the changes for you.
Mm.
Yeah, but it just adds new files. So you add new files and you change your overall global agent file accordingly. Yeah. Do you want to see if that bug is fixed? I think it is. It should be fixed now.
It should be, yeah. So refresh. Yeah, seems like it. You know, it removed one of the 4 options, but anyway, this is the one it should be having. Start with the task directly. That's not there anymore. Anyway, I'll just make it approved.
Yeah, and this is where you pretty much like dog food it, test it, and
Yeah,
any
makes sense.
bugs, ask it to fix that bug. Once you are happy with the milestone, move to the next milestone.
Makes sense. Cool. So, uh, I see. So now it's going to just will it also update the milestone plan based on the feedback you give it?
No, it will not go back and change that. Those documents are pretty much like, so it will not. But now, if you start a new session and say continue, then it will figure out that, oh, okay, milestone 1 is done, and then now
Let's say
I need to do
we
milestone 2.
realize that, for example, in the current app while we're testing, we find that there is one particular feature that is really important from the beginning that was not added
Yeah.
in the plan, right? This is like basically change management. So what do you do there? There's already a technical plan, there's already a milestone plan and everything. How do you
Plan
change?
mode.
How do you
You do plan
introduce?
mode. You do plan
You
mode.
start a
You
new chat or what?
Yes, new chat.
I see. Okay, so you
New chat, plan mode, add that feature,
add
finish that feature.
confetti animation whenever the user clicks the save button on new brain dump. Confirm approved. Okay. So what next? Do you again do
Yeah.
technical setup or what?
No, technical planning is not required, right? You do technical planning before plan mode. This is a very simple feature, so you just do plan mode. If it was a bit more complicated, then you do technical planning. If again, product, then you do uh, your grill me session.
I see. This should be a quick fix, and then I guess we can wind down.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, or is it just like this now? Like you just keep iterating every time
Just
you
this
want
way.
to ask a new question, you start a new chat. That's the protocol
Not
you use.
not not ask a new question, but things that are relevant, things that are not relevant to be together. Right? So this is a completely separate feature that you are building. So you start a new chat.
So you wouldn't. So do you go back to previous chats to continue other work, like the milestone or something, or do you just keep
No,
starting
no.
new?
Once I'm done with a milestone, once I'm done with something, then that chat, I don't go back to it. I start a new chat.
Okay.
Because the thing is, chats also cost money. Like not literally, but what the way how it works also is that the longer your context, you know, the more pollution is part of your context. So
Yes.
ideally, I like to start fresh instead of
Okay.
sort of. So any new request, any new work that is not planned as part of the old sessions. I just
Yeah.
do it as a new chat.
And does it also maintain a change log where it reads exactly what it's been doing to the code base, or does it look at the whole code base and start scratch from
It so
thinking it's a new code base?
so it depends. No, it's not a new code base. So there are a few things that you can do to make it easier for the agent, right?
Mhm.
Some things. So number one, the agents look at the commit logs, right? So from commit logs, it kind of can figure out, okay, this is what has happened.
Okay.
Then the other thing that you can do is you can create a agents.empty file inside your repo, which explains how the repo is structured and things like that to the agent, right? So for any future sessions, it already has those, like it understands what that repo does. So those are few things that you can do.
Not create confetti. Yeah. Anyway,
Try marking it as done or something like that.
marking it as done.
Like mark one of the tasks as done and see if it helps.
Where do you do that?
No, on the UI you had, right? If you
Oh,
do the
right
back
here.
wind, yeah, complete, yeah.
Okay. Huh? Okay, I see. Mm,
Did you see confetti?
no. It's
Okay,
supposed to
so
be
yeah,
when you
yeah.
confirm the items basically.
Okay, it does not come. So okay, maybe just try adding couple, like one more item and see, because it did some fix.
Confirm a fruit should create a. Oh, now I see
Yeah,
it. I saw the confetti now.
yeah.
Yeah. Although it's still reviewing. For the bad
Yes.
case. I see. Cool. Yeah, this is you know interesting that most of the stuff is happening in the backend once it's set up, and you basically code with it like you would typically code with ChatGPT, like just having a chat, and all the
Yes.
stuff that's underneath is happening really underneath. It doesn't try to you know like from your perspective, it's from the developer's perspective, it's not slowing down the process.
Yeah, it's not slowing down the process for me. Yes.
Yeah.
From my perspective, the work is getting done, and while the work is getting done in the background, I'm doing something else.
No, what I meant is that even though there are a lot of like sub agents being spawned, they just spawn automatically, they review automatically, they close automatically, and in the end you have for example, somebody who did not have this whole setup of skills and maybe skills, okay, maybe, but who did not have these sub agent setups. From your perspective, the workflow is the same.
Yes.
Once you set them up, the workflow is the same, whether you set up or don't, right? Only behind the scenes, it's reviewing and it's using those sub agents.
Yes, yes. Like so, yeah. Like behind the scenes, it is doing those things, but yeah, it is those small things that compound over time, right?
Yep. Yep.
So if there is a deviation on commit one, and we make a bad choice, it will continue to compound until commit 10. So that
Yeah.
is why I sort of also focus on reviewing more aggressively every commit, because then you nip those things in the bud. so that that slop does not increase as part of my code base.
Yeah, from a
So
developer's. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and I think that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, yes, you are spending a bit more tokens, but I think it's fine because it's low cognitive load for me. It's
Yeah.
low cognitive load for me as a human to review changes, and also the quality of code that is there as part of the final work is much higher, right? So I think it's an okay cost to pay. And now, based on the project, based on the criticality, you have a choice, like how strict you want to make that workflow. But the goal of that workflow is, again, like it eventually slows down your velocity.
Mm,
Yes, it does that, but that's an okay trade-off to make when it comes to
yeah.
maintainability of the code base.
Yeah. From a behavioral standpoint, from a developer's behavior standpoint, it's not really changing anything, apparently. Once you set it up, the whole thing still happens automatically.
Yes.
So it's not like you're adding more steps for me to do. Just the wait time might be longer depending on how complex the system is, but my behavior is the same. I just sit and wait. So
Yeah, you
let's say
just sit
now
and
I
wait.
wanted to. Let's say I know now I want to do the thing where I wanted to have better comments throughout the code base, right? Human
Yeah.
readability. Uh, do I start a new chat there, or do I
Yeah,
ask it right
I
now?
would, I would start a new chat, and the
Okay.
reason why I would, again, like with
It's a
like how you
new
would
thing.
work with any engineer, right? Best
Yeah.
intentions are best intentions, right? So you
Yeah.
need to have a system in place. So I'll go and say, put a system in place so that the code has better comments, and add, like I like anti-rest style, right? So I'll just say add the anti-rest style comments to the code base.
Where was the? I guess there was a design.md or something like that, right?
Yeah.
No, that was not in design.md.
No, it was in my original Claude MD.
I see, not in here.
In the cc configs directory.
Yeah, makes sense. So that's why maybe it should be add a like that, just like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. This is not in plan mode though.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. You can do plan mode and then you can have it, right? So it depends. So plan mode is mainly because of trust issues,
Mm,
right? So you want the agent to tell you what it will do before it does those things, right? It's the same way how you would treat like a junior engineer versus a senior engineer, right? A junior engineer, you would not tell them like go for 2 days and do
yeah.
this, right? But a senior engineer, you are fine. You would be fine with it. So I think that is the first difference. And the second thing is pretty much like catching things early so that you don't end up paying like the time cost. In this case, it is a very low impact thing, a simple enough task. So simple enough task, you probably don't even need plan mode.
Let's say if I do confirm report. Okay. So it apparently left some things uncommitted last time because
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, like
it
those
said
kind of things, do happen, and it's okay because it probably it was just iterating on it and waiting for the reviewers to finish or for you to see. So that those kind of sanity checks you can do as an engineer, and then say, okay, commit this, push this, and then move on. So yeah, it will not. So, and I think that kind of a control is okay to have, because otherwise what happens is that it just compulsively commits every single thing. Then you have a lot of noise in your
okay.
commit messages, right?
I
So
see.
you just need to find the
Let's
balance.
look at
So
the commit messages it made as well.
yeah.
So let's say if I look at the previous Where do I see this? Like, that's it.
I think it probably copied your commit style. Look for the other one. Look at the improve, suggestion, review. Yeah, it pretty much copied your own commit style. So you'll have to tell it to like write better commit messages, and then again, same thing that you do with comments, right? You do with
Yeah.
commit messages also. So it can take care of it.
But the interesting thing is that it's not following the, instructions from the config files, the agents.md and stuff that you made previously.
Yes, and that's the thing, right? Like that is the challenge always. It will not follow every single instruction 100% of the times. So you have to make it very specific. You have to be, and that is why you need to use skills and combination of that. Your main agents.md file has to be much smaller,
So
and
in this
different.
situation,
Yeah.
let's say, where do we change the reviewer skill such that it uses those files, for example? It reviews those
No.
files for every commit or something.
Yes. So you can say that. You can add a line to the
How do
reviewer
we
to
how do we
say,
do that, for example, here? So we just go to, let's say, skills, and
yeah,
I
you
go
go to your
senior reviewer,
yeah, senior engineer
right?
reviewer, and then add a line.
And
So over
then
here you can't change it, but you can probably go to the cc configs directory, and then, or yeah, from here you can open it, right? Yeah,
okay,
now you can change it.
skill.md.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. Aman, I have to probably drop off at the
Sure.
top of the hour.
Yeah, no worries. It's probably like, uh, make sure uh, make sure every instruction in agents. Okay, I just save that, and like, what next?
Yeah, just save it. Done.
Okay,
Save it. I'm not sure if it will be active immediately or
it's
in the
there.
next session. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
there.
I think when it probably creates that agent again, uh, that instruction will be applicable.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, let's. Yeah, this was a good. I guess hopefully, people get value from this session, and yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's, end stream.